Welcome, Earth travelers, to the 16th episode of Astrology Roadshow. In this episode, we begin to explore how Western and Chinese astrologies operate differently, but have similarities providing insight into the mechanics of life. In-depth timing techniques delve deeply into both, yet profound basic knowledge from each lays necessary groundwork. We will take a look at how both fundamentally lay out the evolutionary path for individuals and for humanity as well. If you are a student of Western astrology, you may have pondered about the important differences between the inner and outer planets. The solar system's inner planets take a very short time to make their orbits as compared to the others. Their journey through each constellation sign can be quick, usually measured in weeks. Therefore, their influence changes up often. Mercury, Mars, Venus, and to a lesser degree the social planet Jupiter are not considered to be super transformative planets when compared to the others. Basic astrology teaches us this. They have influence, but this is also greatly affected by the ongoing messaging energy of outer planetary forces. In contrast, Pluto takes years to transit a constellation represented by a natal house or sign within a chart. It will, at most, directly transit only about half of a person's chart during the course of their life. Upon approach to a constellation, there is an orb of at least 5 degrees, where you become aware of impending transit energy. So essentially, that further increases the duration that natal house and sign area can become transformed. Inner planets have many opportunities to carry and repeat outer planetary energy. It may be concluded, because of these aspecting opportunities, that they are tools we use to fully comprehend the more persistent, transformative energy released by outer planets. The Chinese astrology system also reveals that repetitive cycles within cycles work to achieve a higher vibration and state of awareness. In this zodiac, there are 12 years represented by an order of animal icons that repeat. We are each represented by our particular birth year icon. During the course of each of our respective 12-year cycles, we experience a series of 4 prompts several years apart. These prompts are different stages we go through that keep us on track. The stages we experience within each cycle are helpful to plot goals and achievements along our way. Let's first start with a look at the mechanics behind cycle phases of basic Chinese astrology, and then delve into our outer planetary orbital movement as explained by Western astrology. It's interesting to review episode 13, describing the year of the Tiger personality manifesting in 2022. That video predicts the overall energy dynamic which this archetype is known for. For those that were born during a year of the Tiger, you have hit your 12-year return birthday this year. You again begin the series of prompts. First returns occur at age 12, the age of puberty, and then they occur again at ages 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, and so on. You will have hit one of those birthdays this year, Tiger person. Here are Chinese animal year icons representing birth years. The Chinese Lunar New Year changes in January or February, so you may need to do an internet search for your birthday icon if born in those months. It begins with the year of the rat, much like Western astrology begins with Aries. If born in a year of the rat, you last experienced a birthday year return in 2020, and now you would be at or nearing the third and last year of the initial prompt upon that return. So the people born within the year of the rat will be ready for their next one at their birthday next year in 2023. Their third one in 2026, and the final prompt in 2029. 2032 is the next icon year for this sign, and the birthday for that native will begin another cycle. An explanation is shown here of the intention of these phases experienced during a 12-year cycle. The first 3 years is a time to regenerate and formulate a plan of action toward a goal you want to achieve. The second set of 3 years is to nurture these ideas and better formulate a plan of action, weeding out the areas that do not serve what has been the decided final goal. The third set of 3 years is to put into play the work necessary to achieve the desired result, which has now made itself very clear. And finally, the fourth and final prompt set of 3 years would be to mostly harvest and also enjoy the fruits of your labor before you begin again upon the next year return to your Chinese icon year and birthday. It is helpful to understand that the series of prompts within each cycle are the mechanics that make up the path to your life goal. Prompts help up your game so you will meet necessary mini goals, if you will. Take a calculated look back through your own 12-year cycles and also gauge where you are now. As you go forward, you will find this subtle energy intentionally at work in your life. For Western astrology, the moon's north node in your natal chart does symbolically represent the final goal. But that aside, planetary archetypes described by the outer planets will most greatly determine how you navigate to this ideal. It is wise to plot the course for Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and also recently discovered Eris. If they reach their orbital return point on your chart, it is a milestone of great effort towards your evolution. The very outer planets will not fully orbit, of course, but they tell your story from the territory they do travel and via aspect they make with all the other planets and points. Pay close attention to the natal house areas that are larger than 30 degrees. An outer planet will therefore take even longer to traverse those houses. We begin with Saturn, which has the inner orbit of the outer planets, and it is the last planet we can see with our naked eye. Technically, this is also known as a social planet along with jovial Jupiter, but it's very different from that planet. Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, sets off timekeeper alarms on its course through our individual story. Every point and planet that Saturn aspects is essentially a reminder to remain on task, to keep to the structure of our path and be serious. The main prompts are every 30 years, once again based on return points to its original position natally. Saturn orbital returns roughly occur around age 30, then again at 60 and 90. Age 30 marks our full and final entrance into adulthood. After 60 years old, we focus very intently on the North Node, our ultimate goal in a nutshell. That's the second Saturn return. The repurposing is strong and clear each time, and it is felt and anticipated before and several years beyond the point of exact return. At age 90, if we can make it that far, there would be much reflection on the life lived and a re-incentivized opportunity to reach goals. Uranus is next. This orbit is approximately 84 years, and again the anticipating orb of 5 degrees takes place several years before any transit point. This is enhanced due to time-consuming retrograding, which is part of the planetary forward movement. Halfway through its full orbit, when a person is around 40 years old, Uranus is at its own opposition point natally. This is when many people have a full-on midlife crisis of some sort. All aspects to this very powerful planet are potentially life-altering. Since Uranus basically is capable of navigating the full chart or zodiac during a lifetime, it is possible all house signs will eventually feel its power. Its archetype is the definition of shock and awe, usually indicative of sudden change of some sort. Its 7-year transit through constellation Taurus has shown to upset anything relative to this sign in that brief time. After Uranus, we have Neptune. It has a much larger orbit, taking twice as long as Uranus to complete, 165 years. So a natal chart will not fully experience its direct transit during a lifetime. Neptune tends to lend a bit of illusion, for better or worse, to any sign and house area it goes through. Very subtle in its effects, unlike the planets on either side of it, Uranus and Pluto, Neptune operates differently to accomplish its task. For this reason, one should be vigilant to be sure it is not taking part in your undoing. On the upside, this is a sensitive, creative, and spiritual planetary archetype. It can make you more intuitive in the area it is traveling. During our collective lifetime, we have witnessed it largely going through constellations Libra to Pisces, where it is now, and at home base. A spiritually intuitive revolution is taking place now on our planet, and Neptune is no small player in bringing that message and awareness home to us. Pluto is really the taskmaster of the zodiac and labeled a malefic planet, similar to Saturn, not one to be ignored as we go about our business. It is arguable that Pluto is the business at hand. Don't let its current astronomical status as dwarf planet fool you. It has been proven that whatever area Pluto traverses will be completely decimated and fully rebirthed beyond previous recognition by the time it is done. You will know its arrival into a new sign or house because the announcement is usually a peek at the first step of devastation to come. In all truthfulness, this is not a bad thing ever or a reason to panic. Life is all about change. The advice is not to resist its forces, but to be aware and calmly accept and work it. All aspects are capable of triggering major confusion and possibly physical stress, especially the aspects it makes to an individual's natal personal planets. If it tangos with your sun via conjunction, square, or opposition, the alteration and rebirth of the native's ego and awareness of purpose is forever different. The purpose is made very clear, and there is no real alternative. Other planetary points are not immune to its tremendous forces at all, but the natal sun is especially vulnerable to Pluto's directive. Look at where Pluto has traveled since your birth. Those house and sign areas and the aspects made speak to much of your personal story in this lifetime. For the collective, it is what we are experiencing together. Currently, Pluto is completing its travels through the sign of Capricorn. That has affected societal structure. Structure is a tenet of Capricorn, and so is society. Pluto energy has been dismantling it and leaving chaos in its wake, which begs the point that much improvement is necessary to restructure areas of government and society. Its next transit is freedom, humanitarian loving Aquarius. Of course, we are now getting that preliminary peak because we are within orb. Finally, we arrive at planet Eris, newly discovered in 2005. This is officially on the radar for astrologers and must be included. Please refer to episode 3 for understanding how this planet is being considered the modern ruler for the sign of Libra. Within our lifetimes, Eris has been and remains transiting in constellation Aries. It takes twice as long as Pluto to fully orbit. Aries is our personal warrior archetype. We have been growing to recognize the importance of the individual while Eris transits this sign. Ownership of our identity's unique contribution is very important to the whole and for evolution as a species. Libra is about relationships, so maintaining your own identity while being responsible within relationships is a deliberate lesson from Eris's path. Look to your chart's house of Aries. Here are the years and the degrees of Aries that were critical for Eris in making aspects on your chart. The house where Aries resides is polar opposite to Libra, and Eris, as ruler of Libra, is much affecting both. Depending upon where these house areas are natally will determine where Eris is helping you create awareness about concepts of identity and relationship. All astrologers regularly take a step back, reevaluate the bigger picture that is surely unfolding, and become more aware of their ongoing evolution and the journey timing. The fundamentals of these two systems are a great start when plotting out our stories. Taking hold of our own individual destiny in this way will go far to increase consciousness of the larger picture of evolution, energy, and the universe's amazing synchronicity. As always, much appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoyed. If there are questions or help is needed with a natal chart or Chinese astrology, don't hesitate to contact ars@astrologyroadshow.com. Please subscribe and you will not miss out on important information as we navigate this very interesting and challenging time on our planet. Likes and shares are also much appreciated. I wish you all a blessed fall season in this year of the Tiger and look forward to catching up with you again next episode.